Now, count on 2, live and local in the Low Country. This is News 2 at 4.
Veered his bike around and just screamed, what the F are you looking at, as he lunged towards me.
A woman allegedly attacked in West Ashley on the Greenway. Her warning to other joggers this evening. Plus,
they will kill me today because I serve God and I do not put up with evil.
Audio from the man who stole a Charleston Fire SUV and led police on a cross-county chase. Good afternoon, and thanks again for joining us. I'm Sophia Arzosa. The future of festivals at Folly Beach up in the air. We go to News 2's Taylor Murray with the latest on that story.
The future of festivals here at Folly Beach. The mayor's going to open this up to discussion here tonight at the meeting. Now, it was just last month that Folly Gras turned violent. The Folly Beach Public Safety Department cited 138 calls for service, 27 arrests, 34 citations, and more than 100 parking tickets. Ultimately, the Folly Gras organizers and Mayor Goodwin decided to cancel the festival indefinitely, saying that it simply has outgrown Folly Beach. So I spoke to the mayor about the future of other festivals that Folly Beach hosts throughout the year. He says those festivals will continue.
I think the consensus is we want to continue to do festivals. The question is, how do you control alcohol consumption and bad behavior? That's the question.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, I'll bring you more about the future of festivals here on Folly Beach. But for now, reporting live at City Hall on Folly Beach, Taylor Murray, count on 2.
We'll be looking forward to it. Taylor, thank you. Happening tonight, the Berkeley County School District is set to hear a second reading of the attendance line changes. It's the next step in adjusting high school zoning lines. We're told hundreds of current Cane Bay students would be impacted by the line changes and would be newly zoned for Stratford High School. The board will meet at Foxbank Elementary School in the multipurpose room at 5:30. Rising 9th grade students will have the option to attend Cane Bay High School after changes are finalized. The board is also considering a sibling clause that allows siblings to attend high school their older sibling remains a student in. Also at that meeting, Teachers of the Year at each Berkeley County school are being honored tonight. The categories of tonight's awards are Special Recognition Subject and School Level Teachers of the Year type. A woman says she was left fighting for her life after being allegedly attacked walking on the West Ashley Greenway. The Johns Island woman said it happened Monday night. You're looking at pictures of the victim or where that happened. According to Brandy Lytle, she says a black male in his 20s jumped off his bike and started hitting her. She spoke to us about what happened after that suspect allegedly lunged on top of her.
I kind of fell forward onto the ground and rolled over my back, and then he just straddled me and stood over me and just, not like a punching bag, but like just swung left and right like quite a few times. But yeah, no, I won't be coming out here alone anymore again.
Police have increased patrols in that area, including bike patrols. The City of Charleston Police Department is investigating that incident. New numbers from the City of Goose Creek Police Department show a decrease in crimes against property as well as an increase in traffic tickets. News 2's Berkeley County reporter Raymond Owens is at Goose Creek City Hall with the breakdown of those numbers.
Yes, there are some fairly dramatic increases and decreases here in the city just in the last few months. Now, the traffic stops last year at this point totaled 1,480. This year, it's nearly 2,600. That's a 75% increase. And listen to this. The number of citations so far this year in Goose Creek is a 99.8% increase over this time last year. Warnings went from 683 to 1182. That's a 72.9% increase. And property crimes, slightly less dramatic, but most of the numbers look much better than they did last year. Vehicle thefts down 30%. Petite grand larceny down 50%. Shoplifting down 61%. And vandalism dropped 26%. Now, two areas are showing an increase in property crimes. Burglaries up 11% and thefts from vehicles, those are up 15%. And these numbers will be given to City Council tonight in their monthly report that they normally receive. The meeting begins here at City Hall at 7 o'clock. In Goose Creek, I'm Raymond Owens. Count on 2.
Raymond, thank you. Happening today, the second reading of a plastic and styrofoam ban in Charleston County. The law would not allow single-use plastic carry-out bags at any county facility or event sponsored by the county and on county property. Businesses in unincorporated Charleston County would not provide those bags to customers. The county is working on how to enforce the ban consistently. Today we are hearing radio transmission from the cross-county chase involving a stolen Charleston fire SUV. David Lathan is charged with stealing that vehicle from a James Island fire station. During the pursuit, he was active on the truck's radio transmission, speaking with Consolidated Dispatch and what appears to be crisis negotiators. We listened to various channels breaking down what happened that day. He repeatedly told Dispatch he had spiritual permission from President Trump to steal that truck and said he was trying to return it, calling himself a martyr. Take a listen to some of that transmission.
I would like all officers to know behind me that I have spiritual authority, and if they try any spiritual things with me, there will be severe consequences for the spiritual aspects of it. I am being attacked spiritually now, so I want you to let them know that I will be a martyr today.
During that pursuit, Lathan said he did not intend to hurt anyone, but he also said he was tired of people hurting him. Lathan had a lengthy arrest record and tested positive for methamphetamines at the time of his arrest. He remains at the Hill-Finkley Detention Center.
Next on News 2.
The world is anxiously waiting for the first reading from the black boxes on the Ethiopian Airlines plane that crashed on Sunday. Plus, senators are now speaking out against the 737 MAX 8 and saying the plane should be grounded until that investigation is complete. And don't forget, you can always interact with Rob and me throughout the show. Just follow us on our social media pages. We'd love to say hello, both Facebook and Twitter. A local principal has lost her son-in-law in the deadly plane crash in Ethiopia. Wanda Williams, a principal of Pi Elementary School, lost her son-in-law, Antoine Lewis. He was one of the 157 people who died in that crash. His mother said on Facebook that he was on the flight to learn more about his heritage from a DNA test. He leaves behind a wife and 15-year-old son. Williams says Lewis brought her daughter adventure, enjoyed travel, and had a brilliant mind. Calls are now coming in from Congress for the FAA to order grounding of all Boeing 737 MAX planes. This following Sunday's crash of one of the aircraft shortly after taking off in Ethiopia, killing all on board. A growing number of countries have banned the model from their airspace pending further investigation of the accident. Some senators think the Federal Aviation Administration should order U.S. airlines to follow suit.
Well, I think out of an abundance of caution and, frankly, common sense, it makes sense to ground an aircraft that's been involved in two very tragic accidents in only 6 months. The UK, Singapore, Australia have all taken action to ground the aircraft. It's not that they have a specific area that is a flaw, but just out of an abundance of recognition that this is very serious.
Senators Dianne Feinstein and Elizabeth Warren have also issued statements calling for the planes to be grounded. All this week, the ladies from the Junior League of Charleston are hosting their Little Black Dress Initiative, raising awareness about poverty here in the Low Country. In studio with us now is Liz Morris with the Junior League. Liz, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us. We're really excited about our campaign this week.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about the purpose of this campaign.
Yeah, so part of it is to spark a conversation about poverty in the Low Country, particularly as it impacts women. We are spending all 5 days in a single little black dress to help showcase the impacts of poverty as it relates to resources, your general opportunity, even your confidence level.
And this, you were telling me just a moment ago, it's heavily geared on social media, which is a new age of getting word spread.
Absolutely. It is definitely a grassroots campaign. So it was started in the Junior League of London, and they had such great success that we actually brought it here. So it's now in its 4th year, and yes, you're exactly right. It's pretty much on social media. Members are posting pictures of themselves in their little black dress, asking members, family members, friends and family to support them through an online platform that's helping us raise money.
And if I recall from what I heard last year, you wear a little bit black dress the entire week?
Yes, absolutely. So it's one black dress like this, and members are encouraged to wear it all 5 days and take a picture each day and share it on social media.
And there are some ways that people could participate if they're interested, right, outside of wearing the little black dress.
Absolutely. So like I said, it is a fundraising campaign. So their goal is to raise $20,000. This money is reinvested in our community partners whose mission align with the little black dress, particularly fighting poverty, fighting hunger, homelessness. So it's a really great campaign to support, and people can donate. If you see a member posting on social media, they should have their fundraising link that you can click on and give money very easily.
And there are some events here in the Low Country where some of those proceeds are going to go to the initiative, right?
Yes, absolutely. So tonight, actually, there is a percentage night at Charleston Vermontory from 5 to 9. There's also events at Ivy Row in Mount Pleasant, J. Crew, and even Estella and Dot. So members or the community can go to the juniorleagueofcharleston.org and take a look at the many events that you can be a part of.
A great cause. Liz, thanks so much for being with us today. Rob, thank you. An autopsy is set for today for 64-year-old Eugene Fordham of Moncks Corner. Authorities say he was shot and killed Sunday on Harbor Lake Drive when he was answering the door. Antoine and Andrea Gregg have been arrested in connection with that homicide. Antoine is charged with murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Andrea is charged with accessory after the fact of murder. 4 Holly Hill men were sentenced today for international wildlife smuggling. Stephen Vern Baker was sentenced to 27 months in federal prison for pleading guilty to participating in a conspiracy to smuggle wildlife. The other 3 suspects were sentenced to jail, house arrest, probation, or fine for wildlife smuggling. Evidence showed that they were smuggling turtles protected by international agreements back and forth between the U.S. and Asia. A Count on 2 update: bond denied for the woman accused of opening fire at the Walmart distribution center in Lawrence County. Investigators say Deborah Morgan shot her co-worker and ex-boyfriend in the leg with a pistol. Police arrested Morgan at the scene and medics took the victim to the hospital. Both sides reacted to the judge's decision to keep Morgan behind bars.
Today, the relief he has through the court is that he can go home and rest assured she's not going to try to kill him tonight.
I can assure you that I'm not going to ever advocate for someone using that type of violence, but I know my sister would not have went and got a gun and tried to kill anybody unless it was to the point where he just pushed it to that limit.
The judge says Morgan violated a restraining order issued to the victim in January. The victim's lawyer says the 2 recently ended their relationship. The victim is now recovering at home. A waterfront hotel could be in downtown Charleston's future. A discussion on the proposed project is set to happen tomorrow. The hotel would be built at the old Fleet Landing and Old Port building on Concord Street. The city's Board of Architectural Review is expected to discuss a preliminary approval for that new hotel during the meeting. Also happening tonight, the Berkeley County School District will hear plans to roll out school-based telehealth through a partnership with MUSC. The goal is to eliminate barriers and provide care to students that may not have transportation to visit the doctor's office. If adopted, the telehealth program could start next school year. A Colleton County dispatcher honored after saving a man from a car crash on a Cottageville highway. We're told Daquan Sutter saw a car in front of him crash through a guardrail and land upside down in a pond. Sutter jumped in and pulled the driver out through a window. Colleton County Sheriff R.A. Strickland presented Sutter with a certificate of recognition. The sheriff thanked him for going above and beyond the call of duty. In consumer news, a massive vehicle recall is underway. Honda is recalling about 1.2 million older model vehicles to replace defective Takata airbags on the driver's side. The recall involves certain Honda and Acura models from 2001 to 2016. Owners are expected to be notified by mail in early April. And in more consumer news, if you are a Verizon customer and your text messages aren't going through, it wasn't just you. A widespread outage on the East Coast hit Verizon this morning. Verizon confirmed the outage in a series of tweets saying the problem affects a ton of customers. The issue appears to have been resolved and texting services are now back to normal. Representative Cunningham introduced legislation to help prevent carbon monoxide-related deaths in Washington today. The Safe Housing for Families Act would require that the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development provide carbon monoxide detectors in public housing units. In a statement, Joe Cunningham said, in part, quote, "This bill helps deliver that peace of mind among most vulnerable by ensuring federally assisted housing units have carbon monoxide detectors." Housing advocates and public health experts suggest that in spite of the clear dangers of carbon monoxide poisoning, the Housing and Urban Development has been slow to provide protections for these families. It is time now to take a look at some of the top stories from around the country trending on CountOn2.com right now. A Confederate statue in North Carolina is being moved after city leaders in Winston-Salem declared it a, quote, public nuisance. The monument has been vandalized several times, and the mayor is concerned the monument is now a safety hazard. The city has been moved to an alternate location until the site of the Salem Cemetery is ready. Academy Award winner Felicity Huffman and Full House Lori Loughlin are among dozens of parents, elite college coaches, and college prep execs being charged in a nationwide college cheating scam. The indictment accuses defendants of committing crimes between 2011 and 2019. Facebook got rid of a political ad criticizing Facebook, but it has since backtracked. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren announced she wants to break up big tech companies as part of her 2020 presidential campaign. She released the ad on Facebook when Facebook took it down, claiming it violated rules by modifying its logo. However, it restored the ad for the sake of debate. Disney says the closing date for its 21st Century Fox takeover will take effect on March 20th. The $71 billion deal was made official last summer. Under the deal, Disney will pick up 21st Century's Fox movie studio, a controlling stake in the streaming giant Hulu, and several cable channels. The rest of what was 21st Century Fox will become a new company simply called Fox.
Next on News 2.
The right shapewear might make you look amazing, but a new warning from doctors say it might not be doing great things for your insides.
To Your Health, sponsored by Low Country Orthopedics.
The right shapewear might make you look good, but some doctors warn the clothing might not be doing great things for your insides. News 2's Carolyn Murray's in studio with that report. Carolyn?
Pretty surprising information, Sophia. Doctors say wearing shapewear could result in injuring a person's back. They can smooth, flatten, and maybe even squeeze you into a smaller size. So what's not to love? Dr. Richard Harris says a lot. He says if you wear shapewear, your muscles are going to relax as you shift your weight to rely on the shapewear. And he says that will weaken your core.
People think of the core as just the abdominal muscles, but it's more than that. It's the transversalis muscles, the muscles underneath that help stabilize your spine.
Therefore, Dr. Harris believes shapewear could lead to back injuries. And while Dr. Vijay Jotwani says that shapewear might not be capable of that much damage to your core, he agrees the general public is neglecting core muscles because of shapewear. He says shapewear is not a way to make up for not exercising.
The more we get people focusing on those muscles as part of their routine, then the less they have to come in and see us.
Which means focusing on the abs and back muscles, not just sporting a workout corset, which Dr. Harris believes could be worse for you than shapewear.
It's like wearing any type of brace anywhere. Right? The purpose of the brace is to stabilize. Well, that's also the purpose of your muscles and your joints and the nerves that realize where you are in space. So anytime you offload that to something else, it's going to take away from what the body does naturally.
So if you still plan on wearing shapewear, some doctors suggest only wearing it for about 12 hours at a time and not wearing more than one at a time. Reporting in studio, Carolyn Murray. Count on 2.
Next on News 2.
There's still no decision on how South Carolina will spend the $61 million windfall from the Mega Millions jackpot. In a new reality check, Brad Franco looks at how that money will impact the Palmetto State. But before we go, we want to take a look at what's trending on our WCBD app. Ellen DeGeneres surprises Low Country teenagers with college scholarships. A woman says she was attacked while on the West Ashley Greenway. And a man pleads guilty to abusing a Great Dane and is sentenced to 30 days in jail. Stay with us.
Stay in the know on the go with the News 2 app, sponsored by Amnesty Health Group.
Still no decision on how South Carolina will spend the $61 million windfall from the big winner claiming the $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot. And some wonder why it doesn't automatically go toward education. Brad Franco explains why in this reality check.
It would be a huge boost to the State Department of Education, and it still may see some of that money. Ticket sales benefit education. The winnings, though, are a different story.
Yes, it is the South Carolina Education Lottery, and that has many people assuming that when we talk about this $61 million windfall for the state from that $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot, which was recently claimed by someone in South Carolina, that it would go to the Department of Education, but it doesn't have to. Harley Armstrong from the South Carolina Education Lottery told me in an email that all of that income tax money does not go to the Education Lottery account. These monies, she said, go into the general fund and are appropriated by the General Assembly. She went on to say the proceeds from the sale of lottery tickets are deposited into the Education Lottery account, which is used to support education. So the reality here, ticket sales, yes. Income tax from winners, no.
Now, some lawmakers are still pushing for at least some of that chunk of change to be used to buy new school buses for one of the oldest fleets in America. Brad Franco, Count on 2.
Very interesting. It's severe weather and flood safety week here in South Carolina. The State Emergency Management Division wants you to have a plan, and the National Weather Service says we see more violent thunderstorms in March, April, and May. That means tornadoes and flash flooding are a possibility.
Since 1950, South Carolina has averaged 16 tornadoes per year. These tornadoes have resulted in 58 fatalities and 1,329 injuries across the state.
There is a statewide tornado drill tomorrow morning at 9. For details on how you can prepare for that drill and any severe weather, head to our website. That, of course, is counton2.com. We have a series of videos. 30 years ago today, the World Wide Web changed the planet Earth forever. A special day in tech history celebrating the 30th birthday of the Internet. Tim Berners-Lee was the one who handed in a proposal that ignited the information age. Google has honored today's birthday with an animated doodle that had pixelated letters that were frequently seen on web pages years ago. And today is another big day because today you can get free pancakes at IHOP. You can get a short stack of original buttermilk pancakes for free while donating to children fighting critical illnesses. There are some rules. The free pancake deal is dine-in only, and it's only while supplies last. IHOP Nationals Pancake Day has been going on since 2006, and they've raised nearly $30 million for charity so far. Next, we have News 2 at 5 with Carolyn Murray and Brendan Clark. Let's go ahead and check in with them to see what they have in store. Carolyn, Brendan?
Sophia, thank you. Looking ahead to News 2 at 5 o'clock, the future of festivals, well, that's up for debate in Folly Beach.
We have a live report from that council meeting. Plus, we have an update to a Count on 2 investigation where teachers were not getting insurance they paid for.
What we uncovered in a Call Collect report.